do is that right there. Peyton is going, and Peyton is very good at this. Very few guards can do what Peyton just did, which is go down, challenge someone 94 feet, and still keep them in front of you. Porter was able to get by, draw the foul. He will get to the line.
Porter, the Blazers' second leading scorer on the year. A little down from his performance at the line in the last couple of seasons. Casey Jones, one of the grand gentlemen in this game. In the last few weeks, his name has come up a lot as Nevada-Las Vegas has been compared to the great college teams of all time, and Casey played on one of those at San Francisco. The Blazers steal, the Duckworth missed, the Benjamin rebound. 4-2, Portland leads, 1 minute gone. Sedale, 3.
Threed is one of the better street shooters in the NBA. Drexler got a piece of that one.
Deep to Clyde with Eddie Johnson back. And the ball slides off Clyde's fingertips and out of bounds. Clyde over with the Blazer dancers and the Sonics. Quickly in transition, Gary Payton. Now Threet with Kersey. Sedale.
Threet, one of the great street shooters in the league, and when he's on a roll, he's a very, very dangerous offensive player. And again, most of his game is over the top.
Clyde inside. Shot spins out on a tough roll, and the rebound to 21-year-old Sean Kemp. Threet shut off. Goes to Payton. Gary over the top. Weak area of his game. Perimeter shot. Payton has got it.
Well, that's the shot you want him to take, but what Portland's got to do is rebound that shot. And that is a flaw that Portland has exposed to their opponents in the last few ball games, that from the perimeter, they're not reacting to long rebounds.
Threet, bumped by Drexler. No foul called, and the shot spins around and in. Sedale, Threet, Benoit Benjamin each have a pair of baskets. It is Seattle up by 4, 9:40 left, quarter number 1. Porter for 3. 8-7. Seattle by 1. Threet with Drexler. Eddie Johnson. Duckworth, strong rebound inside. Portland can take the lead. Kersey has had the hot hand. Spins out to Benjamin. Benjamin, one of the league's top rebounders, over 11 a game. Hard contact on the drive from Eddie Johnson. First foul of the ball game. Correction, second foul of the game. First foul on Portland.
Occasionally, Eddie Johnson will surprise you, put the ball on the floor and attack. And what you want to try to do is not gamble on Eddie Johnson. Try to keep him in front of you and force him to find that hot hand. When it gets hot, there's nothing you can do. But you got to make him work to get it.
One thing Seattle did by acquiring Eddie Johnson and Ricky Pierce is they improved their team free throw shooting substantially. EJ almost 89%, Ricky Pierce a 90% free throw shooting. 9-7, Sonics by 2. Kersey, entry pass. Williams can't get it. Duckworth does. We are tied at 9 with 8 minutes, 25 seconds left in the opening period. Portland, Seattle feeling each other out.
A lot of people forget that Eddie Johnson used to be a starter. He hasn't always been a six-man his entire career, so going back into a starting role actually gets him started better. He gets a more consistent game. It's more difficult to be a six-man than it is to be a starter. Terry Porter with the rebound, and Sean Kemp trying to challenge, and not a good decision there. Once you see a player has complete control of the ball, you're asking for trouble when you come in that area, because you can't do nothing but pick up a foul.
Blazers looking for the lead in a 9-9 tie and 4 minutes gone.
And Drexler has to take advantage of his size and his strength against the L3. Even though you want to get
Shot clock at 3. Ball out of bounds. Portland will retain possession. Blazers inbounds play here.
To finish the thought, even though you want to get the ball inside to Duckworth as much as possible against Benjamin, Drexler can get a shot on the post almost at will against 3.
Buck, tough shot, blocked.
They had to go against the shot clock.
Benjamin traveled with the ball. Nice pressure, Terry Porter.
Get a delay of game against Benoit Benjamin for pounding the ball, but he was upset at himself.
Still tied at 9. Game 4.5 minutes gone. Williams and Kemp. Drexler and Gary Payton. Help by Kemp. Shot blocked. No foul called. Buck coming back. Can't score. Rebound to the Blazers. Clyde Drexler. For 3. Got it. Portland 12. Seattle 9. Strong hustle play made that possible as Clyde just out-hustled the Sonics to get to the ball.
That may have been a wake-up call for Drexler. He thought he got fouled. Instead, they gave Kemp the block as Benjamin scores again. And he came back. He wanted that basketball. We'll see if he continues. Porter.
2-point try. 14 for the Blazers. 11 for the Sonics. 6:40 to go. First quarter. And we have our first timeout. 6:41 left, opening period. Portland leading Seattle. Blazers leading by 3. Our first timeout. There are no substitutes in the ball game following our break. Payton to Sedale, 3. Rebound inside to Kevin Duckworth. Williams splits the defense, lost the ball. Kemp save. Blazers Kersey misses the dunk. Eddie Johnson. Blazers cut him off. Good hustle by Drexler and Porter. Blazers very active defensively, covering the court.
In this stand, you saw them react very quickly to Eddie Johnson, and then everyone else was aware of where the ball is. That's when the team is their best defensively. 4 seconds on the shot clock.
Clyde knocks the ball out. 1 on the shot clock. And Seattle will have to pull the trigger in a hurry. Their best bet to get the ball in the hands of Eddie Johnson, number 22. 24-second violation. So the Sonics turn the ball over one more time.
Ever notice how coaches look at officials when they're right? There's no way they could get that ball out with Benjamin tipping it, getting it back, and Rick Adelman looks at him like, Louis.
That was their 5-second play. Speaking of birthday greetings today, Steve, a great Trailblazer fan, Mildred Moore, is celebrating her 80th birthday today. And also celebrating on March 26th, my father, Wayne Lafferty. You telephone pioneers always wondered how old he is. 75 today. Jerome Kersey, 2-point try. Carries it. He has really been on fire over the last 10 ball games. 60% shooting from the floor and has been more consistent than since November with his outside shot.
You see, the Sonics are not a real good passing team, and that's what you want to try to force them to do. Make decisions with the pass, and with Portland aggressively, defensively, they can force some turnovers.
Good pressure on Porter. Nobody comes to help. Terry has to shoot, and it spins out to Jerome. Kersey will try again. Partially blocked. Foul. Sean Kemp.
The quick jumping of Kersey, again evident as he beats everyone to the ball the first time, misses, reacts to it faster than everyone else, goes up one more time. Sean Kemp picks up the personal, trying to come over to make a block.
Second foul on Kemp, 13th foul on Seattle.
Now, in many ways, that hurts you more than it helps you because it brings in a better all-round player in Derek McKee. McKee does not have the power that Sean Kemp does, but he has the ability to play a lot of positions and make a lot of things happen.
Jerome finds Terry. Terry finds the three-point line and is long to Kersey with another Blazer offensive rebound. Portland 12 rebounds, Seattle 6. Duckworth. They put Helium in there. Kersey and Duckworth. And a foul is called. It's on Gary Payton, and that is his second personal foul.
You look at the hustle and the effort area of a game right now when you talk about rebounding. And Kersey, in this last series of possessions, was involved in almost all of the Trailblazer rebounding opportunities, along with Kevin Duckworth. And now Duckworth will go to the line. But that's what the Trailblazers do best. Pursue and chase the basketball when they are alert. When they're not, they may as well be watching with us.
5 points for Kevin Duckworth. Nate McMillan will come into the ball game. Gary Payton is out again. Payton with the 2 fouls. In recent weeks, he and McMillan have been splitting the time almost evenly. Offensive rebounds, Portland 8, Seattle 1. Sonics are the best offensive rebounding team in the league. Blazers are the best defensive rebounding team in the league. So expect a war on the glass tonight. Between these two teams, that's nothing new. 2-point try. Nate McMillan.
It's an unusual look early for Nate McMillan. He normally is not a guy that's going to shoot the basketball from the outside. He normally will hold, but very quickly stepped in looking to score.
Rick Adelman trying to guide his team to their 50th win of the season and the 4th 50-win season in Blazer franchise history. Duckworth still has it. Over McKee. Kevin scores. 8 points for Duckworth and 7 for Terry Porter. They're carrying the scoring load. Blazers lead by 5. 3:50 left, first quarter. Shot clock at 5. McMillan. I'll tell you, he broke through the line of scrimmage, but took a shot by the middle linebacker.
The decision to double team sometimes can create more problems than it solves. And the Portland Trailblazer defense started with a double team on Benoit Benjamin. You leave a very dangerous Eddie Johnson open in that situation. I think you have to make a decision right at the start of the ball game. Is Benoit Benjamin going to beat you single-handedly? If not, then you allow him to go one-on-one and try to double team at key times in the game.
Ricky Pierce is in. Sadeo Frida's out. The free throws are made by Nate McMillan. And we have a 3-point ball game.
We'll see if Ricky Pierce adjusts to the open style of play and the quickness of the play in the West. He's been used to more of a half-court game. Drexler for 3.
Rainbow City. Clyde Drexler gets his second 3 of the night. Portland leading by half a dozen. 3:15 left, quarter number 1. Derek McKee. Rebound, Seattle. And Pierce missed, and Benjamin taps it up and in.
Well, Drexler got a piece of the Pierce shot, and Benjamin made a tremendous tip. He's got 8 in the quarter.
Benoit 4 of 4 shooting and 3 rebounds. Clyde misses, McKee taps it up, and Derek has it for the Sonics. Game clock on your screen, Portland up 4. McKee deep. Block Duckworth. Follow and score Seattle. Benoit Benjamin now 10 points, 5 of 5 shooting.
Opportunistic Benoit Benjamin. The trailer on the play, but realizing he had a chance to get to the glass with no one in front of him.
Kevin over Benoit. And Duckworth. Duckworth and Benjamin, 10 points apiece. Big night for the centers. Next dead ball, we'll have a timeout. Ricky Pierce. Jerome slides by. Pierce catches a hand. And they'll tend to him as we take our second timeout. 2:04 left to play. Opening quarter. Portland leading Seattle by 4. Charlotte turned his ankle. Was considered questionable for tonight's game as illegal defense is called on Portland. Now, Danny is also joined on the floor by Cliff Robinson, who's wearing number 3. Rick Adelman listening to the official's explanation. Sonics get a new 24-second clock. Ainge with Nate McMillan. Drexler, Williams, and Duckworth, along with Cliff and Danny, the Blazer quintet. Ricky Pierce. McKee lost the ball, and here comes Klein. Sonics are back. Robinson knocked away by Benjamin. Kevin was the intended man for that pass, but an active Benoit Benjamin knocked it away. I'll tell you, he's been described as an enigma so many times. A lot of sports fans who read the paper casually may think it's his first name.
He's taken a lot of heat, and it started from his early entry into the NBA, and a cloud has been over him since that time. And I think, you know, he'll be a player that may eventually work his way out of that, but it's going to take a great season by the Sonics and him to do it.
Drexler lost the ball, but Duckworth saved Cliff's first shot. Long rebound and a rebounding foul. It'll be on Portland's Kevin Duckworth. That's his first. First team foul on the Blazers in the last 2 minutes of the quarter. There will be no free throw shot here.
The ball comes from the outside. Duckworth swears that it was Nate McMillan that was pushing him, but he was from the rear. And when you're that big, you better fall down if you want the officials' attention.
And speaking of big and off the bench, Michael Cage, 6'9", rebounding demon, is on the floor now wearing number 44. Starting center for the Sonics much of the year. Pierce. Ball deflected away and out of bounds. 6 on the shot clock, 48 on the game clock, with Portland leading Seattle 25-21. Last couple of minutes, not much scoring. Ball is knocked away, stolen by Buck. Here comes Danny Ainge. Stop, pop, drop. Portland by 6, 40 seconds left. Steele Drexler has Ainge on his right. Clyde is fouled. It's on Nate McMillan. Drexler will shoot 2.
The one thing that this second look at this play will show you is how good the NBA player is at cutting an opponent off. Now you watch McMillan get over in front and take the lane away from Drexler. Now in college you rarely see that happen. These guys are so quick and so athletic, and a guy as good as Drexler is still not able to make a lane to get the ball up and over his head.
First of 2 excellent athletic plays in that series. The first was Drexler's great lateral motion, which you saw, intercepting that pass to the wing. Clyde with 1 of 2 free throws has 7 points. Trailblazer lead is 7. Shot clock, game clock, almost dead even. In fact, the shot clock is off. That's how close they are, Steve.
Offensive foul against Derek McKee, trying to squeeze a screen on Ricky Pierce. Pierce is upset because Drexler had a piece of his jersey, and the official didn't make that call.
Cliff Robinson is out, Terry Porter in. 5 seconds left to look for Terry's three-point skills here.
Buck Williams out.
It's Ainge. Rebound McMillan, and that's it. 1 quarter complete from Portland's Memorial Coliseum. The Blazers lead Seattle by 7.
And continue the good defensive pressure.
Blazers start the second quarter with Walter Davis, number 6, on the floor, and also they bring Buck Williams back in, and Cliff Robinson makes the steal. Leaves the ball for Davis, and the Blazers lose the break opportunity.
In this situation, you want a cutter to go down the lane. If you can get someone going to the hoop, you can find a seam for a pass. 5 on the shot clock.
Ainge from Drexler. Rebound, Nate McMillan. Strong rebounder, fine ball handler. And his offense, it's been the question mark. Rebound to Clyde Drexler. Portland leading 28-21, opening minute, second quarter. Clyde for 3. First miss from there.
This is where the Trailblazers get themselves in trouble. They'll get a lead, and then they'll have some questionable shots like this. and allow an opponent that's beginning to struggle to get back in the game. Now you want to be very aggressive in trying to challenge at the hoop and get medium-range jump shots if possible.
Michael Cage. Pressing the limits of his offensive range. Perhaps it's 28-23. Walter Davis, pretty play.
Travel.
Derek McKee turns the ball over. And for the Sonics, that is their 9th turnover. Portland has committed 3, or correction, 2.
But the last play which we saw Walter Davis go to the hoop is the kind of play that the Sonics are vulnerable to, particularly without Benjamin in the ballgame. So the more ball movement you have, the better your chances of getting right at the basket with a pass and a shot.
Davis missed. Sonics rebound to Cage in Seattle in half court. Eddie Johnson, Walter Davis.
You see Danny Ainge snap his finger in a way to say, I wished I hadn't done it. He committed himself to trying to make a block from the rear as Eddie Johnson came down. Looked like he was going to go right up, a little pump fake. Ainge on his back.
However, Steve, they call a foul on Walter Davis. It is the first team foul of the quarter on the Blazers. Johnson successful on the free throws. Our score now 30-25. 5-point Trailblazer lead, 10 minutes to go, first half. Sonics with the ball, Michael Cage.
Ainge had the right idea, but Pierce made a nice save and knocked the ball away.
Ricky Pierce. Eddie Johnson, Meyer. EJ now with 4 quick points, has 5 in the game. The Blazer lead, slice to 3. Clyde by Pierce. It falls. 9 for Drexler, 32-27.
See, that's the problem. See, Pierce got right in the way of Eddie Johnson, trying to get a ball, catch and shoot. Pierce trying to learn the play and also trying to learn Eddie Johnson, brought his man right to him. That threw the play off, but Eddie Johnson continued on. Drexler thought he had all ball. The official will put Eddie Johnson on the line.
Steve, how hard is it for the two of them to play together, since both are used to coming off the bench and having the whole offense directed their way?
Well, they're not used to having the offense directed their way as much as they're used to being the guy that ignites off the bench. Now you have one guy that's still doing his job and the other guy reassuming a starter's role. Their games are similar. Now the guy that they're most familiar with is Eddie Johnson, not Ricky Pierce. Pierce is getting the fewest chances.
Drexler. Score! He's fouled at Pounce. Challenge 3 men on the way to the glass.
Whenever you have a big man on a mobile smaller man, these are the results as Drexler blows right by Michael Cage into the middle of the paint, and this is where you're going to get a chance to go to the line. Defense are forced to react. A lot of times they miss. Drexler gets a 3-point play.
And has a dozen in the ball game. 12 for Clyde, 10 for Duckworth, 7 for Porter. Blazers are up by 6. The fade falls for Ricky Pierce. That is his first basket of the game, averaging 21-3 on the year and 18-2 with Seattle.
But Pierce is a tremendous competitor. He loves to play, and that's what's bothering the most right now. He's not getting as much PT as he was when he was with Milwaukee.
The Ainge basket gives Portland a 6-point lead. 8:20 left first half. Ricky Pierce. Again. Rebound Cage. And very much at home inside in traffic, Michael Cage able to score off the offensive rebound, has 2 baskets. 4-point game. Drexler throws the defense. Blocked Nate McMillan. Clyde comes away. Robinson, McKee, and McMillan has it. Quentin Daly is in the ball game. loses the handle and fumbles it out of bounds. There's Quentin Daly. Has been used sparingly this year. Clyde will come out of the ball game. And a nice round of applause for him.
Now, Daly against Walter Davis, that's a matchup the Trailblazers have to look to take advantage of. Davis with the ability and the size to go over the top. Daly cannot guard him. They get a kick ball.
7.5 minutes left. Second quarter, 37-33. Blazers shooting 39%, the Sonics 54%. Rebounding margin now just 1. Sonics have come back strong on the boards after being behind early by 7.
You got a mismatch, and Ainge has got to take advantage of that. He's got to go by Cage. He allows Cage to come up, strip him of the ball.
Ricky Pierce.
Offensive foul.
And we have a Portland timeout taken by Rick Adelman with 7:15 left in the first half. Blazers 37, Sonics 33. Tell you. Here's Danny Ainge for 3. 7 points for Danny Ainge. Portland 40 and Seattle 33. 6:50 to play first half. Sean Kemp, who is back in for the Sonics. 2 early fouls. He missed the shot. Walter Davis tracks it down. Duckworth finds Ainge alone. The 3-point shot is back for the Blazers tonight. That is their 4th in the first half. Seattle timeout.
Point range. Sonics only taking 1.
Almost halfway through the second quarter, Trailblazers have their largest lead at 10 points. Quentin Daly with Danny Ainge. Rebound of the Portland Trailblazers, Jerome Kersey. Blazers now with Duckworth, Robinson, and Kersey on the front line, and Ainge, Porter backcourt tandem. Gary Payton back for Seattle. He and Sean Kemp both with 2 fouls. Ainge, drive, dig, score, Cliff Robinson. 45-33, the lead has grown to 12.
You're in one of those psychological windows where the Sonics could crack, and the Trailblazers have to keep the pressure on. They've got to force them to take tough tries defensively and offensively and react to the ball defensively, which Jerome Kersey does.
Terry Porter had to work for it, has the basket, and the lead has now grown to 14. And Casey Jones will take another timeout. The Coliseum is up for grabs.
Toward the hoop, gathers himself, goes up strong, and Portland has an aggressive 2 points. Porter realizing he's got a mismatch, goes as deep as he can, pulls up, nice controlled scoring opportunity for Terry Porter and the Trailblazers. And that window that I talked about, Casey Jones is aware that his team is teetering on it right now, wants to see if he can't get something going at the offensive end and get his team back in it. Whenever we talk about Portland defensively, it's always been the recognition of where the ball was and who's doing what. And you can see how quickly the defense is collapsing. When they're playing like that, then they're a very tough team at the defensive end of the floor because they're going to create a lot of turnovers. The reason for it, they know where the ball is. They know who has it. When they don't react, you get...
And those would be the other pairing. But Steve, Golden State lost again tonight back east, a second straight night.
Won a very important series of games.
One thing about the Sonics, after tonight, 10 home games and only 4 more road games the rest of the way. Here's the shot by Kemp. It's over the backboard, and the Sonics are turned away again.
But even though that number is dramatic in terms of how many home games. And they don't have that good a command of their game. They are still beatable at their place.
I think some of those games, they've got, what, 2 with Portland, 2 with the Lakers, and 1 with Phoenix in about a 5-game stretch. Chance to find out how far they have coalesced as a group. Porter. Turned away by Benjamin. Kersey, offensive rebound, another basket for Jerome. 49-33, the lead is 16. Three, rejected. Payton has it. The shot clock was reset, and it should not have been, says Steve Javy, because the ball never hit the backboard or the rim. And there's the final in overtime, and that was a tremendous game down the stretch with a lot of hero plays, but the Spurs win it.
Spurs have a huge overtime period and outscore the Knicks, who only come up with 8 points in that extra period.
Whistle. Foul called by Louis Griot. It's Terry Porter's first foul. And Payton will come out along with Sean Kemp. For the Sonics, Danny Ainge comes out. Clyde Drexler comes in. Sonics have Eddie Johnson back on the floor along with Sadeo Threet. Ainge out with 10 points, including 4 of 6 shooting and a pair of 3-pointers.
Well, right now, Casey Jones has got some serious firepower out there on the floor, and he's trying to score the basketball. They get a goaltend on it. Cliff Robinson help and a foul as well, so Benjamin will get a chance for a 3-point play. And even though it cost the Trailblazers 2 points, these are the plays that they want Cliff Robinson to try to make. To come over from the weak side and to try to make plays on the ball. You want to try to get to it earlier.
Benjamin has 13 as the Sonics leading the scorer. He has delivered most of their offense, yet spent a lot of time on the bench. Porter draws the foul on Benoit. First foul on Big Ben comes with 3:40 left in the quarter.
Right here, recognizing he's got Benjamin in front of him and can't go all the way to the hoop. A little pump fake, draws his shot, blocking Benjamin off his feet. Benjamin complaining to the official, saying he jumped into him, but the error for Benjamin was he left his feet.
Terry Porter made what may have been the year's most miraculous shot in the triple overtime game in Seattle. Buck Williams is back in for the Blazers with 3:42 left in the half, and Cliff Robinson is out. So the Blazers starting 5 now on the floor for the balance of the period. Points for Terry Porter, scoreboard. 14-point Trailblazer lead. Gage fumbles the ball, and Kersey's got it. Porter can't score, but draws the foul. Sadeo Threet.
Quick reaction by Jerome Kersey puts Portland in an offensive advantage. Porter attacking, draws a foul against Sadeo Threet.
And the usually reliable Terry Porter misses his second free throw of the night. He is 3 of 5 at the stripe tonight.
Back-to-back misses as Porter booted himself, and we'll see if his concentration comes back short with that one as well.
Sonics fumble the ball away again.
Cage and Benjamin fighting each other for it.
Blazers at the line 7 of 13. Sonics 8 of 9. Kevin by Benjamin. Nice switch to the left hand. And an offensive foul called on Big Duck. And I mean, he's bidding for a spot at Ashland with his Shakespearean Festival. Second foul on Kevin. Game story on your screen.
All the Sonics made the right call. Rick Adelman is saying, how can that be?
I mean, that was a great pose. Bring the curtain down. Here's Cage. Rebound, Buck Williams. Drexler. Score! 14 for Drexler, and the lead is grown to 16. Eddie Johnson.
22nd timeout.
Comes with 2:44 left in the quarter. 52-38 our score, a 14-point Portland lead. Buck Williams. Too long, too strong. Cage the rebound. Sedale 3. Ricky Pierce blocked Drexler. Cage. Score.
The Trailblazers do a great job of scrambling, but still get burned as Cage gets in his office. Pump fake. Got a 6-pointer of the quarter.
Robinson fumbles the ball, still has time to get it back, gather himself, and score. 54-40. The lead still 14. Cage. Ricky Pierce for 3.
Pierce is one of the best open court jump shooters in the NBA, and you can't allow him to get his feet set.
Double foul called off the ball. The basket still counts, but a foul on Buck Williams and a foul on Michael Cage. A war beneath the glass. Clyde. Robinson. Whoa, what a shot by Cliff. Benoit. They'll wave it off.
A hold before the shot. Cliff Robinson. Good break for the Trailblazers as Benjamin was right at the well.
First foul on Cliff.
It's arrived. The pros now have cards, and Bob Kloppenberg, the assistant of the Sonics, just held up 27. And the problem is, what do you do if you don't remember what 27 is?
All I know, Caldwell Jones. Caldwell Jones.
Who do you ask? And this is going to be a defensive setup for the Sonics. Looked as though they wanted to trap, but they really didn't pressure the basketball.
Robinson fouled hard. Tough by Eddie Johnson. Derek McKee will come in for Seattle.
The crowd reacts, but you got to expect to get a shot when you're inside right there. Cage comes hard from the rear to pick up his 3rd personal foul. Robinson did the right thing, handling the ball with 2 hands, trying to go up strong.
So Derek McKee is back in. Benoit Benjamin is out. I think they'll want to get Cage out if they can with the 3 fouls and bring in Sean Kemp. Kemp at the scorer's bench. Here's Cliff for 2. Seven and a quarter for Cliff Robinson. And now Kemp in, Cage out. 54 seconds left, first half. 57-45. Strong second quarter by Portland. 8 points now for Cliff. The lead 13. Three. Rebound, Buck Williams. Porter for 3. Whoa! Harry Porter. The 6th three-pointer of the night for the Trailblazers. And the Rainbow Riders are back. Kemp is fouled on his way to the basket. Clyde scores and is fouled. Wonderful athletic play by Drexler, and you've got to be strong to get that one back up under control. Let's watch.
Drexler coming from the left side will come across with a little extra push from Ricky Pierce from the rear to get, and that may have helped him really. He got just enough momentum coming back the other way when he took the shot from Kemp to get the ball up in the three-point play.
10 in the quarter, 17 in the game for Drexler. Here's Pierce. Tapped by Kemp. It is halftime. And the Portland Trailblazers go to the locker room at intermission with a dominating performance. They lead Seattle by 17.
Call for Drexler. He comes back with the three-point field goal. That got his initial scoring going. He ended up being Portland's leading point producer in that first half of play. What the Trailblazers did well in the first half was react to the basketball. They put good pressure on the Sonics, making them make some extra passes. They got beat on some of those plays, but for the most part, it was their aggressiveness at the defensive end that forced their turnovers, that made good things happen for them. Benoit Benjamin was the offensive force, and Benjamin showed that if he can get in a one-on-one position, he can score against any center in the NBA. Good reaction by Portland and Buck Williams and Danny Ainge. Ainge, looking for a three-point field goal, decides to come inside the line and get two. What makes ball movement easier? The lack of defensive pressure. You saw a classic example there. No one pressuring Cliff Robinson or Clyde Drexler, cutting Walter Davis to the basket. 2 points for him. Good defensive reaction by Kevin Duckworth, but a better offensive reaction by Benoit Benjamin.
Ben made all 6 of his shots in the first half. He leads Seattle scoring.
Eddie Johnson still showing that he has that magical offensive touch as he comes back. It's a good shot off the glass. Drexler now really very aggressive in going to the basket. Gets a good bounce. That one almost 4 corners. 3 as it got 2 sides of the rim. Didn't make it over to the other, but he got that shot to go in. Ainge down the lane. Cliff Robinson cutting to the hoop. Gets the 2. What makes the Sonics and Pierce so tough is their ability to rebound at the offensive end. Pierce gets 2 shots at it. Then Michael Cage, poised, powers his way up, comes out the other side of the glass. And if it's a barometer for the Sonics, it's not really their shooting from the outside that is a key for them. When they're shooting the ball well, they don't rebound as well, but it's a rebounding, particularly at the offensive end. If they're getting 2 and 3 opportunities, then they know that they're controlling their opponent. Drexler putting pressure on Ricky Pierce, slides right by and scores on the move. Porter aggressively attacking the defense of the Sonics, and that's probably the best time to take a three-point field goal. The defense is relaxed and giving ground, and you're coming up offensively with a little momentum, you get a chance to knock it down. Drexler switching hands, comes hard to the hoop, draws a foul from Sean Kemp, and the Trailblazers have a commanding lead.
64 Outscored Seattle 28-21. In the second period, Portland outscored the Sonics 36-26.
And you look at the scoring out of the backcourt. Drexler and Porter have been dominant in the first half of play, and that's really the flaw for the Sonics. Benjamin
misses, and Kersey has another rebound, his 7th of the ball game. Both teams going with the same starting fives that began the game. Buck Williams has not scored. No goaltending called, and the block shot will leave the ball with Portland 13 on the shot clock.
All the Trailblazers reacting, thinking Buck Williams was going to score on this shot. Benjamin gets it just before it starts the way down, and again, that's the real key for the Sonics with Benjamin.
And now Buck.
No illegal defense.
Buck does score. The call was illegal defense. Since the basket was made, illegal defense is waved off, and it's now a 66-47 ball game. That is Portland's largest lead of the night. Two starters did not score in the first half. Buck Williams for Portland. Gary Payton has not scored for Seattle.
Neither really has had many opportunities to look at the hoop, and if you don't put the ball in the air, your chances of getting on the scoreboard are real slim. Sean Kemp, 6 in the ball game.
First half, Payton took 1 shot. Buck was 0 for 4. Clyde to Terry, wide open. Can't pass that up. Rebound. Kersey again on the offensive glass. What a fire he brings to this club. Eddie Johnson.
Now you answer your question about Payton. Do you see Payton trying to do anything? Well, when you don't do anything, you don't get fouled. Nothing happens.
Terry slips, and Payton has the ball on the steal. And solos for his first score. Kersey. Oh, 8 for Jerome. Sweet shot. 70-53. Blazers looking for their 50th win of the season. They have lost 18. Here at home, 30-5. Kemp misses. Buck rebound. No foul on Kemp. For Seattle, Kemp and Cage both have 3 fouls. And the Blazer lead goes to 19 again. And Seattle takes a 22nd timeout. And KC is asking some questions. Minnesota here on Saturday night. Benoit Benjamin with the offensive rebound. Can't score. Keeps reaching. And the ball finally falls off fingertips of Portland. A new 24 on the shot clock. We have 9:23 left, third quarter. Delighted you're with us on Blazer Cable around the Northwest. Portland leading Seattle by 19. Payton to 3. Rebound, Gary Payton. Sean Kemp. Jerome. Favoring one leg just a little bit, just a slight limp. We'll keep an eye on that.
That's a good leg.
He's trying to get free of the guard of Eddie Johnson. The cutter, Duckworth, goes down. No foul call. Here come the Sonics. 3 scored. So the Sonics make a little run. It's now a 15-point game. It's 72-57. Clyde slipped. And there is a foul on Eddie Johnson. And an easy foul to call.
Drexler going down. Eddie Johnson thought he had a chance to make a play on the ball, realizing he couldn't, just ran right over Terry Porter. Portland will get a new 24.
8.5 left, third quarter. Drexler with a big first half, 17 points. Can't finish. Eddie the rebound. Drayton Duckworth. Kevin intimidates, makes the shot come off strong. Drexler, Kersey, score!
A Drexler knew that Benjamin was going to react to his penetration. That kept Kersey coming right at the iron.
Jerome has now made his last 4 shots in a row. Kersey steals, Porter solos. Work foul. Apparently he chose to turn it into a duet. The lead is 19.
The Sonics are just about ready to cave, and the Trailblazers have to keep some pressure on them for about the next 4 minutes. Continue to build on the lead. They know that they're struggling to score. They're not real crisp in their execution. Defensively, they're not shutting down the Trailblazers. Tough night.
And Kevin Duckworth out with 4 personal fouls. First appearance of the night for Wayne Cooper. Eddie Johnson. Benoit, the offensive rebound, tied up by Kersey. Ball ripped away. Porter with 3 trailing. Score! He's fouled at Coates.
Teamwork, and you'll see the play of Kersey starts to play as he tried to rip the ball away from Benjamin. Drexler picks it up, pushes it ahead. Porter now with the chance for a 3-point play. We'll see if he can snap the string of misses that he had in the line.
Tough night for Terry. Every once in a while he has those. He's had a couple of others this year. We have a Seattle timeout. 7 minutes, 10 seconds.
Have games where they can command and dominate any team in the NBA. The Sonics are showing that they don't have good command of their game tonight. And here's Steele Drexler.
Blazers have been aggressive, intense, disruptive. Sonics have only 8 lay-ins or dunks on the night. The Blazers have 15. Payton to Benjamin. Eddie Johnson.
That's what years and years of being attacked will do for you. Keep you calm and cool. Eddie Johnson against pressure. 2, he's got 13 in the game.
We've gone inside the 7-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. We had a foul called on Seattle.
Gary Payton.
It's Gary's 3rd personal foul. 3rd Sonic with 3 fouls. For the Blazers, only 1 man with more than 2. That's Kevin Duckworth, who has 4 and is on the bench. Porter and Payton. Steve Javy blows the whistle. Foul on the elbow. Gary Payton. Porter will go to the line and shoot 2. Ricky Pierce and Nate McMillan come back in for Seattle. Threed and Payton go out.
One of the things that Payton must learn in his rookie season is aggressiveness. I mean, he's trying defensively, but the entire game is not played at the defensive end. And when you have a player of the ability of Porter putting a lot of pressure on you, you got to come back and return some of that pressure.
I think the thing that people wonder is they saw Gary so aggressive in college, sometimes almost over-aggressive to a fault, and it's surprising not to see him carry some of that into the pro game. Eddie Johnson misses. A big rebound for Wayne Cooper. Steele McMillan.
Nice play, Nate McMillan. Porter trying to chase him down, won't catch him.
(80-61) halfway through the 3rd quarter. Williams, sweet shot. Degree of difficulty 9.5. Second basket for Buck. Pierce pressured by Kersey. Benjamin with Wayne Cooper. Benjamin. Nice job by Pierce to recognize Benjamin when the double team came to Ricky.
Ben's played a strong game tonight, regardless of what a lot of national media people have said. He has not laid down since he's got the contract. I think he wants to prove to everyone that he can be a player and a player of note in a different organization.
17 points, 7 rebounds. He's missed only 2 shots. Buck. Scoop won't go. Second try by Kersey won't go, and Buck Williams powers it home. Pierce. Blazers double team to the boards. Here comes Porter. Kersey. Oh! He is fouled. It counts, and they are on their feet at Memorial Coliseum.
Tremendous play by Drexler. Just a touch pass, got the break going. Good recognition by Porter, and a thundering effort by Jerome Kersey, and he has a chance for a three-point play. Casey Jones realizing that he needs a change in the prescription right now, changing some faces out on the floor.
One of the year's most exciting plays, without a doubt. You saw it here on Blazer Cable, and there's the man that gave it to you. Kersey now 12 points, 8 rebounds. 87-63, the lead has grown to 24. Sonics turn the ball over one more time. 8 Blazer turnovers, Seattle has made 15. Blazers make their 9th. It's quite all right.
Drexler trying to reach in and re-steal the ball.
He's fine.
Free throws for Drexler. It's a penalty situation. The Sonics have been picking up quite a few fouls in the reaching, grabbing category, and the Portland Trail Blazers only have 1 team foul.
Game-high 21 points for number 22, Clyde Drexler. Portland's lead is 26. Foul is on Buck Williams. It'll be his 3rd.
And they may say this for another year or 2 about Sean Kemp, but with age, he will only get better. I mean, he is showing why the Trailblazers had so much interest in him coming out of college, where he really never played, and no one knew who he was. And when he was drafted by the Sonics, a lot of people said perhaps a wasted choice, but he has proved them wrong.
89-64, the lead 25. A moment ago, you saw Kevin on the bench with 4 fouls. Gary Payton has the same number for Seattle. Sonics swarm to Buck, and he spins away from pressure and banks it home. Scoreless in the first half, 8 in this quarter. That is the 4th foul on Buck Williams. So Cliff Robinson will come in, and Buck, the Maryland Hammer, will check out. Blazers now with Cooper, Robinson, and Kersey on the front line. Porter, Drexler, the backcourt. Sonics have McKee and Cage back into the ball game, along with rookie Pierce. McMillan running the offense.
8 for 3.
And Nate Scott, he's a pretty good three-point shooter. 36% shooter from three-point range, averaging only 4 points a game on the year, but he has 9 tonight. Robinson snuffed inside Sean Kemp. 2 very gifted second-year athletes. Ricky Pierce. Kemp and Cliff. Cage. Foul. I think Coop got him on the elbow. First foul on Wayne.
So is there a reason for all those orange caps we suddenly see behind?
Yes, that is the lucky section.
Sean Kemp showing more poise and control, finds an open Michael Cage. That's where you want Cage, out there on the perimeter. Challenging, Cooper gets a piece of the arm, Cage at the line.
cage shooting into a sea of orange baseball caps won by the lucky section.
Maybe that will always be.
I think somebody brought those up from Corvallis and passed them out for Gary Payton.
The best thing that ever happened to Corvallis happened tonight. Whoever that kid was that sung the national anthem was truly a performer.
That's Ezra Tuaolo, the outstanding defensive lineman. And if that knee is all right, he's looking forward to a nice pro career. Porter. Wonderful fake, couldn't finish. Drexler, stolen again. Clyde coming all the way. Robinson scores! The lead is 25, 2:50 left, third quarter. Kemp lost it. McMillan blocked Cooper, and Kemp has it. 11 in the game, 7 in the quarter for Sean Kemp.
The high wire for Kemp doesn't go. He's an envelope player the last time, and he gets 2.
Live. Partially blocked, and the ball will belong to Portland.
Oh, he got it. He got a good piece of him, and Pierce gets away with one.
And we go to a timeout.
They've been very aggressive, very alert. They draw the foul on the inbound play. And again, when they're playing like this, that's when you begin to understand the special qualities of the team. But the team has to remember this.
Jerome Kersey with 13 points and a team-high, game-high, 9 rebounds. Blazers at the line, 15 of 23. Jerome, 1 of 4. He and Terry have struggled a bit at the stripe tonight. Nice rebound, Nate McMillan. Seattle really thought he would be their point guard of the future for a decade, and it just hasn't worked out that way. Derek McKee, steal, Terry Porter. Robinson. 95-70, Portland by 25. McKee. Very quiet tonight for Derek McKee, averaging 16 a game. That is his first basket tonight.
I think for McKee, that has been a big problem, not to be aggressive offensively when he's got that great offensive ability. I think if you hurt the team, you hurt yourself as a player when you don't look to score, and you can. Pierce.
7 for Ricky Pierce. Portland lead, 21. 1:20 left, third quarter.
Sonics showing a trap, and you want to aggressively attack it. That was a good pass. Kersey wasn't ready to shoot. He makes the shot anyway.
4 points in the first half for Jerome, but he's had a big third quarter with 9 in the period. Let's correct that. 11 in the quarter and 15 in the game, and he's 5 for 5 shooting in the quarter. Ricky Pierce, another Sonics basket. But Seattle has been anything but super tonight.
Drexler committed himself in the air and then was too close to make the pass that he wanted. Sean Kemp
didn't miss that one down. The hammer came down. 97-78. Blazers can get 2 shots here in the last 40 seconds if they get one up here quickly.
Drexler did the right thing, but ran out of room, tried to squeeze it in, and his momentum carried him right underneath the iron. Couldn't make a shot. Portland's fortunate to get it back. You see him get by Kemp. The ball got stuck on his hip. That's the reason for the problem.
Shot clock at 24, so you see about a 5.5 second difference between the two. Drexler and Cage. Clyde will wait.
Well, they double team, and that's what you're supposed to do. Attack right away. Porter misses. Kersey puts it in.
Another offensive rebound, another second effort basket for Jerome and the Blazers, who lead now by 21. Kemp on Robinson, blocking foul on Cliff. Only the second foul on Cliff Robinson.
This is one area of the game that Cliff hasn't quite mastered yet, drawing the foul. He's been trying, and he's been close a few times, but he hasn't quite been dramatic enough when he's taken the contact. And most of those calls that he's trying to get the charge on have turned out to be blocked.
Danny Ainge will come in, Wayne Cooper will come out.
Portland trying to get a quick score and possibly even looking for a chance to pull a trigger for a three.
Kemp makes both.
Kemp a big quarter, 11.
Counts if it goes. And we have played 3 quarters. The Portland Trailblazers rolling past Seattle, leading by 19.
Starters and the reserves in terms of scoring points, and again, that's when they're playing their best, when they get that kind of offensive distribution. They get a foul against Eddie Johnson. Louis Grillo gives him that extra look just to let him know, Eddie, you know I know. They say Derek McKee.
First foul on McKee. Opening minute, 4th and final quarter. The Blazers trying to log their 50th win of the season. Ainge on the drive, gets the bump. Eddie Johnson. Second personal foul on EJ.
Want to see a professional type move? Watch the elbow of Ainge. So come out just enough to get a little balance and then draw the foul.
So the Sonics quickly with 2 team fouls. Ainge coming off the pick and knocking it home. Danny Ainge with a dozen. Blazers have 6 in double figures, and if Buck gets one more basket, it'll be 7. Cage draws the foul on the drive. Kevin Duckworth gets saddled with his 5th personal foul.
It's one of those games where the Trailblazers have a big advantage, and even though Rick Allen is standing over, knowing game situation, he may not need him again. He may just go ahead and let him play, or he may give Ala Abdel Nabi an early call, and he'll get a chance to play a few extra minutes.
Your crystal ball is shining brightly, Steve. The call goes to Ala. Nice round of applause greets the rookie from Duke. And Kevin Duckworth will come out with 5 fouls. Duck tonight, 5 of 9 shooting, 6 rebounds, a dozen points.
Now, that's the kind of game that Duckworth wanted to stay in because he knew there was some cheap points available, and now he won't get a chance to cash. And with an aggressive defense that the Sonics are now playing, you really want to try to attack the basket. You're going to get chances to score.
I mean, the pinball wizard, Clyde Drexler, put it up on the rim, had enough spin on the ball that it just kicked over the iron and fell in. 21-point Blazer lead. Ricky Pierce loses the ball to Danny Ainge. Ainge fouled in backcourt. I think Ricky Pierce, yes.
Well, Pierce made the foul, but nobody looks worse than Ainge when he gets fouled or gives a foul. You think he just got killed, but he was trying to push the ball ahead to Drexler, and that's why he was upset and knew they had a chance for a break.
103-82, 10.5 minutes to play. Ricky Pierce gets another personal foul. It is his 4th.
Sonics really aggressive on trying to challenge Drexler. In that situation, you try to go away from the pressure. They leave him the baseline open. You got to try to get yourself in position where you can come back strong to the baseline. Abdelnabi picks up the foul.
Cliff Robinson threw it over the top, and Rick Adelman explaining how the play should be properly executed. 21-point Blazer lead. It's been comfortably Portland since a huge second quarter. The alley-oop, drop it down, Derek McKee. Second basket for McKee, only 4 points. Kersey looking for the cutting Al Abdelnabi, and as we've seen all night long, the Blazers have gotten a lot of cutters to the basket, and they've benefited from it.
That time they challenged 94 feet. They pushed the ball up the floor. Ala beat his man back. Cage made a saving swipe at the ball. Mismatch.
Robinson. Spun out. Tough roll. Cage the rebound. Here comes Seattle.
Even though the Trailblazers have the lead, the one thing they cannot do is afford to get careless. The Sonics still have some firepower out on the floor. They can come back and come back quickly, so you can't lose your offensive momentum.
The Portland lead is 17. 9.5 minutes left in our game. Ainge for 3. Rebound. All the way out to Cliff Robinson. Blazers reload.
Sonics have 14 fouls. You can shoot free throws the rest of the quarter if you go to the basket strong. Pass from Drexler to Kersey.
Sleight of hand. The ball handling magic of Clyde Drexler. Holding foul is on Jerome Kersey. 3rd personal foul. Second team foul on the Trailblazers. Shot clock at a new 24. Exactly 9 minutes left in the game. Pierce again. And Ricky's warming up. Finally, and for the first time. 105-88. The lead 17.
Pierce has just got a great stroke, and he's got a bull-like body to go along with it, and that's what makes him so tough to control for any guard. Ala Abdelnabi turns it over.
Johnson, fouled by Cliff Robinson. Third foul on Cliff. 3rd team foul on Portland, and Rick Adelman wants to talk things over and slow the Sonics down. 8:35 left. Portland's lead 17.
Goal 10, Ala Abdelnabi. So Eddie Johnson comes back with 2 free throws and a hoop. The Sonics within 13. Strong move by Eddie Johnson and a flip.
Eddie Johnson honed his game in Chicago with 2 very close friends.
Now right there, that's where Ala Abdelnabi's got to try to go to the basket. They're going to leave that part of the basket open. The Trailblazers will get a call against Eddie Johnson and go to the line.
I'm glad that foul was committed, because now you can tell our viewers who those 2 friends were. As many of you know, as you see Buck Williams come back into the ball game for the Blazers, all it goes out. They were his high school teammate, Mark Aguirre, and Mark's close friend, Isaiah Thomas. That must have been a pretty good high school basketball team.
They've had some tremendous teams in Chicago. The amazing thing, Chicago teams never win a lot of state championships.
Cliff Robinson, he's looked very comfortable at the line tonight. Perfect in 3 tries. Blazers 16 of 25 at the line.
Get up, get up, get up.
Kiss to death, did it again. It's another lash in the flogging at the end of the year, right? 106-92, 14-point lead. Pierce. Rebound, Cliff Robinson. Ainge. Ainge came to contact. Shot didn't go. He'll shoot two. Put the pieces back together.
This shot teeters on the rim, but Ainge went strong, took the shot from McMillan, and then tried to draw the three-point play. Drexler comes out of the ball game. Terry Porter replaces him.
14-point Blazer lead with 7.5 minutes to play. Quentin Daly is in. Eddie Johnson will get a quick rest. Free throws, the only ragged part of the Blazer game tonight. Ainge makes one of two. But the Blazers 28 attempts and Seattle 23. Both teams do very well when they have more attempts than their opponents. Derek McKee. Daly. Foul is on Jerome Kersey. His fourth.
Trailblazers really haven't taken advantage of the fact that they had that big foul advantage. Now the Sonics got the Trailblazers with 14. The next will put them in a penalty. And 2 minutes ago, the Trailblazers had a 4-1 advantage. Ricky Pierce will try to attack.
No man in the game for the Sonics. Dana Barros. Pierce will draw the foul, and Seattle will be back at the line. Barros came in a moment ago, 5'11" out of Boston College. Wears number 11. And here comes Walter Davis back in. Jerome Kersey out.
Pierce, again, with his strength, just attacking the Trailblazers off the dribble, and that's what makes him such a force at the offensive end. He's very mobile and got strength and feels he can score against anybody and has the tools to get it done.
Blazers now with 5 fouls on Duckworth and 4 each on Kersey, Williams, and Robinson.
The Sonics come out of this with their 31 call. We'll see what kind of a trap that is. That looks like a 1-2-2 with token pressure and then trying to trap the ball.
7 minutes left, 13-point Blazer lead. Alley-oop, too high for Cliff Robinson. Sonics can make it an 11-point game. Even if Seattle loses, this may help them for tomorrow night when the same two teams meet again. Barros for 3.
That's what Barros does best, is shoot the basketball. And unfortunately, he just came in the ball game. That was going to be a tough shot for him to stick. And what Portland has to do is stay aggressive at the offensive end. They are settling now for perimeter opportunities when they can go to the basket. This is a tiring team in green, and they'll get people reaching and grabbing. They're giving them a little bit more life as the Sonics score with Quentin Daly. Drop the ball inside to Quentin Daly, who's always been a very good offensive player. Post up, turnaround jump shot, now a chance for the three-point play. He's expanded size-wise. He's getting rounder as the years go along.
A 10-point ball game. Mark Bryant, Danny Young. Mark due back next month. 6:20 left. There is plenty of time left for Seattle. This is that goal you talk about an awful lot. If you're down 20, 6 minutes left, get it down to 10.
What you got to do is go to the basket. The Trailblazers have this team spread out wide open. They squeeze a pass inside. Good defensive play by Michael Cage. 5 on the shot clock. Davis
Pull the trigger in desperation. Rebound. Buck Williams. Lost the ball. Dana Barros.
Now, who are the aggressors right now? The guys in green. So that's why they're making things happen. McKee for 3.
And he's got it. This is a 7-point ball game, and the Coliseum crowd now is stunned. 5:43 left.
Now, the Trailblazers can put this game back in hand in the next 2 minutes of play just by being aggressive and attacking where they have advantages inside. Buck Williams
scores and is fouled.
You see Porter under control, a good quick pass right at the iron, and an advantage for Terry Porter and Buck Williams. You see the team's reaction. We'll see if he can complete the three-point play.
110-100. 5:20 left. Shot clock at 3. At 1. 24-second violation. Strong stands at both ends. Excellent offensive play. Fine defense.
So did they remember just that quickly what they were doing for 3 quarters? See, and that's all it is. And in the NBA is such a game where with the 24-second clock, you can get these swings and momentum. That's what drives coaches a little on the net side.
And that's what makes the game so great for fans.
Right at the iron, Kersey missed. The play was there. Now, this is the most dangerous player out on the floor in green right now, Ricky Pierce. Trying to draw the foul and does.
Here's the lead is 6.
Again, with a trap, you just want to aggressively attack it. Don't be passive. Don't be content to do what Buck Williams just did. Get the ball past center court. You want to continue to go in a north-south direction, very strong, very quickly.
Clyde, steal, Ricky Pierce. 3-on-2 break. Pierce for 3. Kept alive, Derek McKee against Duckworth. Score. Ducked 5 fouls. Had to let him slide in. This has turned out to be a nail-biter. 4-point game. 3:50 left.
Now is not the time to be tentative in what you want to do. You got to stay aggressive. Kersey.
And the foul is on Quentin Daly. First foul on Daly.
Duckworth with a good scoring opportunity, misses. This time Kersey gets both hands on the ball, puts it back strong.
Jerome now 2 of 6 at the line tonight. And if Seattle slides by Portland, missed free throws will be one of the dominant themes of tomorrow's stories. 19 for 30 at the line, 20 of 31. Kersey makes 2, has 21 points. 112-106. Game clock on your screen. Daly. Pretty play. Went to the left hand while double teamed and almost spun it home. Jerome Kersey is fouled out of the ball game. 21 points, 11 rebounds. He fouls out with 3:22 left.
Smart play by the Sonics. They came back attacking Jerome Kersey with a good offensive player in Quentin Daly. Get Danny Ainge back in the ball game instead of Cliff Robinson as they try to stay matched up.
Clyde will slide to front court, play small forward. Daly misses the free throw. If this free throw is made, we've got a 5-point game. 112-107. 3:20 left.
Again, see, they're showing a trap, and Portland is kind of letting the trap be effective. You got to go at it. You got to go at a defense and spread out. They're right there. Drexler has a chance to go to the basket and does.
25 for Drexler. Portland's lead is 7. Daly bumped with Buck and scored. Squatty body Quentin Daly, 6 all in this quarter. The lead again 5.
What's allowing the trap to be a little bit more effective than it should be is the outlet man in this case is Buck Williams, and Buck doesn't feel comfortable handling the basketball. Blazers, 5 on the shot clock.
Fine Drexler at the basket, can't score. Duckworth, heartbreak roll, and the Sonics' Michael Cage rebound. Kevin right at the iron, tried the reverse lay-in and watched as it spun out.
Coming back to Daly against Ames. And you got to force the ball out of his hand. Now he's beginning to get a little confidence. You got to make someone else shoot it.
Ball knocked away and out of bounds by Portland.
So who are the dangerous people out there? Pierce and Quentin Daly. They're going to try to work the basketball through those two.
Pierce, fade, scores. 114-111, a three-point game and 2 minutes left. Great comeback by Seattle. They have been tremendous in this period. When this quarter started, Portland led by 19.
Aggressiveness. Portland has to remain aggressive by attacking the basket. Porter.
19 for Porter, his first basket in the final quarter. And Seattle calls timeout. A minute 34 to play, and the Blazers holding on. They lead the Sonics by 5. And Golden State still lost 2 in a row back east. 116-111. 134 left. Blazers leading by 5. 19 on the shot clock. Seattle ball. Let's watch.
Looking for Pierce.
Pierce, bumped by Ames. No call. Great follow. Shot won't go. Drexler. Score! Fouled by Barros.
This is the hardest thing about coming back. Everything almost has to be perfect, and when it isn't, it translates into these kinds of plays. Barros trying to draw the foul, doesn't get it. The three-point play, they're down by 8.
Barros, all the way to the basket, draws the foul.
If Dana Barros ever identifies that he is a scorer, he is going to be a dangerous guy in this league because he has the ability to handle the ball. He can manufacture shots. He's an aggressive player, and he's playing like he's a point guard and a playmaker, which he is not. And whenever he tries to play make, then his production, his value to the team is nullified.
His first point tonight, a 92% free throw shooter. As you see on our computer line fast stats, what a strong game Seattle has had off the bench. Cage with the rebound. Sonics lose it. Drexler, no. Dick Bavetta waves it off.
Over and
back violation.
But you ask about Ricky Pierce, 21 tonight, and you've seen his strength. He's one of those players that gets stronger as the game goes along, and he told me this morning he is really going to work on his game this summer so he can be ready for this Western Conference in this open play, because he sees a chance to score a lot of points. A lot of points.
Robinson out and Duckworth in, and Terry gets a bump. Dana Barros the foul. Now just over a minute to play. Portland leading by 7. Drexler's big three-point field goal may turn out to be the big basket of the night. K.C. Jones. A little different situation for K.C. here. A lot of people recognized him as an excellent coach with veteran players and established talent, Washington and Boston. But he has a chance with some very gifted young people now to nurture and develop a club in Seattle.
They have a young team. He's done a good job. If you looked at the condition of this team earlier in the season, after making all of the trades, they put this team in a very competitive posture. They've been hovering around 500 for most of that time. So it's a challenging job for K.C. Jones. He's accepted the challenge, and this is a team that may be one of the future.
Seattle timeout, 1:06 left. Portland leading the Sonics by 9. Now pretty even. Big number on the board. Portland +9 with a minute to go. McKee and Robinson collide, and McKee will go to the line as Cliff gets called for the foul, his 5th.
So the question you ask is, where was that Derek McKee in his first appearance? This is a strong drive across the middle. You can see right now he's not going to be denied. Now, when he plays that way, he's going to be able to get scoring opportunities. And I think more than any other player, when they talk about their future, if this guy steps up and plays to his ability, then you have major problems coming out of Seattle.
Nate McMillan back in. Others think he may end up being a lot like Sam Perkins. 15, 16 points, 6 rebounds a game. So we shall see. Final minute. Shot clock 12. Porter and McMillan. Porter was aggressive but lost the ball inside. Pierce spins out to Robinson. Seattle's last hope is gone. Ames fouled by Pierce. 5 fouls on Ricky Pierce. The only...
You'll see Pierce come in. Eddie Johnson said he faked it. There was the contact, and that's the initial contact that they called after that. And of course, the Sonics are hoping for every whistle they can get, but with 23-5, as I said before, you almost have to have a total breakdown of your opponent, and everything has to go right in order for you to have one of those miracle finishes. Portland had one against the Sonics earlier, because they even had a timekeeper that was a little late at the buzzer.
And it's especially hard to do that on the road. Portland was about 14 down going to the 4th quarter, rallied, finally won it in triple overtime, but it's so hard to do it on the road. We saw that recently where the Blazers almost did it. Walter Davis had that steal at the 4-minute mark. If that shot goes down, 6-point game, maybe you come from 29 back. But as you've mentioned, everything needs to go the right way. Well, Casey's going to use up his full allotment of timeouts tonight. We will keep it here. It's a 10-point game, 23 seconds left. Well, you've had a sensational night in analysis, showing our viewers tonight why you've heard that network job. Pretty simple. Okay, there he is right there. It's good. It's nice, I think, for the Trailblazers to go into these next 2 games, Seattle tomorrow, the Lakers on Friday night, putting together a brief but solid winning streak, and they needed that.
Oh, there's no question that they needed a lift. They needed a shot in the arm, and I think that the way that they played in the first 3 quarters shows you the talent that the team has. And again, what they have to try to work to as they head down the stretch is 48 minutes. Forget the Laker game and what the fans will imply it's supposed to mean. If they don't get the 48-minute game back, then they will struggle.
There is the first of the new merchandise shirts that look like a custom-made one, but in case you couldn't read the small print, 1991 NBA playoffs. No question, there are 2. These are the best 2 races in the modern history of the NBA, where 2.5 games separating 3 teams in the Midwest and 3 teams in the Pacific Division.
It's tremendous, and everyone talked about the power being in the West, and the teams that initially were talked about have come to the front. The one that is terrifying everyone right now was not really talked about, and that's the Houston Rockets. The Rockets on a 12-game winning streak, and they found the formula that they can believe in, and that's really the secret and the key to winning as we take a look at the Western Conference standing. Before tonight's ball game, the Trailblazers still had the #1 spot. The Utah Jazz, by virtue of leading the Midwest, the #2, and then teams with the best record follow in consecutive order.
And of course, remember, if San Antonio passes Utah, then they jump into that #2 spot. Dana Barrow. And a foul called by Steve Javie. It's on Seattle, and Ricky. Yep, Ricky Pierce, he's gone. Ricky Pierce, he and Quentin Daly were the big offensive scorers in that 4th quarter comeback, and he'll foul out with 21 points. Pierce fouling out with 18 seconds left.
They're showing Pierce with 5, and they have made no move to go to the bench.
Well, on the big scoreboard up there,
They now show him with 6, but they still made no move to go to the bench. And Pierce doesn't act like, I guess he's going to say, if I got it, you got to tell me I got it.
6 fouls.
Steve Javy now tells him, and he gets buzzed out. The number of fouls that Ricky Pierce has is the same as the jersey number worn by Walter Davis. Derek McKee. Eddie Johnson is in. 18 seconds left. Porter at the line. 21 points. Some nights it's not there. Porter at the line, 7 of 12. Leads the Blazers in assists with 10. Kersey led the Portland rebounding effort with 11, but Buck had 9, Duck had 7. So strong effort by the front line.
When you're missing as Porter is, what you've got to do is eliminate thought and get back to your routine. You got to go back to automatic. You got to go to a routine that just stops thought and you just react and shoot the ball.
Daly. Rebound Porter. 3 men on him. No foul called. Final seconds. Drexler. Icing on the cake. Drexler gets his 30th point. The ball game is over, and the Portland Trailblazers have their 50th win of the season. The final score, Portland 126, Seattle 113.
The 50th victory of the season. The Trailblazers really played a very aggressive brand of basketball through the first 3 quarters of play. Sedell Threatt with a good attacking drive, but that was only one of the bright moments that they had in that first 3 quarters of play. They were struggling to score because the Trailblazers were reacting so well. Eddie Johnson right at the basket for another 2. But it was the ball movement, the reactions of the Trailblazers that built a comfortable cushion for them, enough to where they could absorb a rally. Jerome Kersey with the putback. In that 3rd quarter of play, Kersey was a player of note with 13 points in the quarter. Whenever you have a team stretched out, you want to try to find an easy transition opportunity. Kevin Duckworth didn't get many looks at the basket in that second half of play, and that was the only 2 points after having 10 in the first quarter of play for Kevin Duckworth the rest of the night. His counterpart, Benoit Benjamin, out of the ball game as well during the big 4th quarter run that they made as they went to a smaller, more mobile team. Nate McMillan gets his feet set, knocks down an early jump shot. Buck Williams and the Trailblazers really played an enthusiastic and aggressive ball game. They shared the ball well. They made some very strong decisions, and because of it, they built a big advantage. Did those decisions change? And a little bit they did, but right now it's showtime for Drexler and Porter. Sean Kemp missed the high wire. And as I said earlier, comes back to get the envelope, and that is a play where he never jumped. He just was there, rolled it off his fingertips. Pierce leaving the ball for Kemp. And you can see this is a better Sonic team than it was earlier in the season, only because they try. They try to play together. There's a certain happiness and joy within the group, and that makes it easier for them to at least be in a challenging position. Not many teams are going to come back from 19 down at the 4th period against Portland and be able to pull off a win. A thundering reaction from from Jerome Kersey, and the reaction from Terry Porter. High wire. That's where the Sonics can live too. Nice lob pass for Derek McKee. Pierce. And everything that you want from a jump shooter, you look at Ricky Pierce. Release at the top, Good rotation, follow through, and an easy 2. Portland back on the glass, Jerome Kersey. Movement. At the end of the ball game, they found 2 holes. Quentin Daly, the wide Quentin Daly, was able to still find a good offensive touch, and the bull-like Ricky Pierce. Now, can you imagine that Detroit traded this guy? Ricky Pierce when he was a rookie. Good pass inside to Buck Williams, and that's probably the play that changed the course of the ball game as the Trailblazers begin to get their teeth back in it. Porter. Pierce with a tough off-balance try. The ball is tipped out, and at this point the Trailblazers are off and running. Drexler comes across for a 3-point play, and they put the game back in hand.
And Clyde's at center court with Bill Schonley.
Good evening, everybody. Those of you on cable here in the Coliseum and around our Trailblazer Radio Network. Big win for Portland tonight. Welcome our guest, Clyde Drexler, right here. Now, Clyde, 50 wins sounds very nice, doesn't it?
Sounds very good. I think at this stage of the game, I think considering all that has happened, I think we're doing pretty good.
All right, in your own descriptive words, describe tonight's ball game. At least for 3 quarters, you had it going your own way.
I think we played very aggressive. I think we played with a lot of intensity. And I think we had control of the game most of the way until we had that little bad spell, and they made a game of it.
They were down by 27 at one time, whittled it down to a 3-point deficit for them, and had it going.
Had it going, and had us pressing a little bit. I think the press that they threw, they really were aggressive, and they did a super job. And it picked up their defensive intensity, and then they started to make some shots. And that team has some very talented players. And when they get it going, they make it very tough on you.
That might set up things for tomorrow night. Same 2 teams in Tacoma, huh?
It's always tough to play the same team twice in a row because you get sick of seeing those guys. And I know they get sick of seeing us, but it's always tough. At least we won't have to go over any of their plays because we already know what they're going to do.
Same 2 teams tomorrow night, that's for sure. The starting guards tonight outscored their starting guards 52-8. You did a great job in that category.
Well, I just think the team defense was good right from the start. I think everybody was into it. We had help from the weak side. We had good interior defense. And I think everybody did a super job tonight.
Everybody did. You wound up with 30 points, 6 assists, 5 steals. Terry Porter, 22 points, 10 assists. Jerome Kersey. There goes Terry Porter. Where'd he go, TP? Behind us. Jerome at 21 points, 11 rebounds. Danny Ainge, 15 points. Cliff with 13. And speaking of Danny Ainge and the rest of you, the 3-point attack is back. He had 7 of them tonight.
Well, I think we were on the mark tonight. Like I say, we came out with full intensity. Guys had the open shots, and they knocked them down. I think we're capable of making those. You're going to have some ups and downs, but you got to continue to shoot them. And tonight we were on. What
about the rest of the way, Clyde, in your opinion, with 14 games to go?
That's a good question, Sean. And I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen here. I'm just going to take it. The team is going to take it day by day, game by game, and just try to be the best that we can be going down into the stretch run.
Well, it seems that you've been able to get it back, if you were.
I'd say so. Things are looking good right now, but it's going to take a lot of hard work to keep it that way. And just not to get away from basketball right now. What about that honeymoon, Sean?
You would have to do that. Had one day. One day. But it was terrific. Listen, now you got me all flustered here. Oh, my. What were we talking about?
The honeymoon.
Oh, no. We're talking about basketball. It was a big win tonight. 50 wins. You're 31-5 on your home floor. And these next 2 games with Seattle and the Lakers before coming back are very, very big for you and your team.
Very big games, and we're expecting tough contests, and I think we really have to gear ourselves up to meet the challenge. Those teams are playing really well right now. It's going to be 2 tough games.
And I'll take care of the honeymoon.
Big game. The opening tap is controlled by Clyde Drexler and the Portland Trail Blazers, and we are underway. Kevin Duckworth. Rebound. Porter saves. Nice hustle play. And Buck couldn't handle the ball. Seattle will have their first possession.